What is up, golf fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Press Podcast, the first Press Podcast of 2026. And in case this is your first time checking out this show, this is where I give you my picks, and it's also a preview of the upcoming tournament on the PGA Tour schedule. Now, remember, this should have been the second week of the PGA Tour schedule in 2026. The Century was supposed to be last week. That got canceled, and so now we look ahead to the kickoff tournament, the Sony Open in Waialae Country Club in Honolulu. Let's talk about this upcoming tournament. Let's talk about the course. Let's talk past winners, odds, all that stuff. And then we're going to give you our picks. It's very difficult to predict some of these early tournaments because you don't know how well players are coming in, or some players still dealing with injury. Let's talk about it. So as I mentioned, Waialae Country Club in Honolulu, par 70. It's not a very long course in terms of PGA Tour standards, 7,044 yards. Let's take a look at past winners. Sometimes that matters. In 2025, Nick Taylor was a winner. 2024, Grayson Murray won. 2023, it was Siwoo Kim. In 2022, Hideki Matsuyama. Hideki always seems to play well in this Hawaii swing of the PGA Tour schedule. Now let's take a look at the odds. Right now, Russell Henley. Yes, Russell Henley, who won a couple of events last year, won a signature event, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, was a member of the U.S. Ryder Cup team. He is the odds-on favorite to win at plus 1,100 odds. Hideki Matsuyama and Ben Griffin, they come in tied for second in terms of odds-on favorites to win at plus 1,700. Then we go to J.J. Spaun, the U.S. Open champion of 2025 at Oakmont Country Club. He comes in at 1,800 odds, plus 1,800 odds. And then we'll finish it up with that 2023 champion, Siwoo Kim, at plus 2,000. Now, again, in case this is your first time listening or watching, we do a favorite play and we do a long shot play. The favorite play has to be someone that is inside the realm of plus 2,000 odds. So plus 2,000 or greater. That is or greater for the bettor in terms of the house. You're looking at plus 2,000 or less. We'll put it that way. For those that are long shot, it has to be greater than plus 2,000. So let's start off with a favorite. I am going to go with consistency. I think the consistency matters. I think the way that you finish the year matters. I think that sometimes players can figure things out throughout the course of a PGA Tour season. And I think that Ben Griffin figured something out last year. And it wasn't just how to win, because he did that, but he figured out how to win and play consistent golf for the majority of the season. Ben Griffin, again, maybe he doesn't have a 2026 that is comparable to his 2025 season. Maybe Ben Griffin takes a step backwards, but there's nothing about 2025 that would lend me to believe that that's going to happen in 2026. Ben Griffin was unbelievably consistent. He continued to work and shape his game in a way that's going to make him competitive week in and week out. So with all of that said, I'm taking Ben Griffin at plus 1,700 as my favorite pick, the outright winner for the Sony Open. Now, what about the long shot? Long shot, I'm looking for someone who is consistent. Again, I'm trying to avoid the players who are streaky. Oftentimes early in the season, just as like late in the season, those streaky players can pop up, and that's who you're like, man, I never saw them coming out of anywhere. I'm going to go with Corey Connors, though, at plus 3,000. Played well last year. I think he's going to pick up where he left off. Corey Connors at plus 3,000. That's my long shot play. Last season, for those that don't know, on the Press Podcast, I did not fare well in the outright category. I think I maybe only had one or two times where a favorite hit, and that was when Scotty Scheffler, I took him. So we'll see. Maybe we can get off to a great start this year, and I can get an outright winner in the first tournament of the year. Now we do top 5, top 10, and top 20 picks. So these are lesser odds, but you can obviously maximize your input, and I'm going to be tracking all these again for the second straight season. We're doing top 5, top 10, and top 20. Here we go, top 5. I'm going to hedge my Ben Griffin bet. I think he's going to be vying at on the top of the leaderboard or near it, and the final round. So I'm going to go with Ben Griffin as a top 5 play at plus 330. Now, who else do I like in the top 5? Because I take 2 of these. I also think that J.J. Spaun is out to prove that last season, where he wins a major, almost wins the Players. People forget that he finished second place to Rory McIlroy, and he was obviously struggling with that, having to come back on Monday at the Players at TPC Sawgrass. Nonetheless, JJ Spawn at plus 360. I like him in the top 5 as well. So top 5 to wrap it up: Ben Griffin, JJ Spawn. Those are my top 5 plays. Top 10. I'm going to go with a guy who typically plays very well in Hawaii, and that's Hideki Matsuyama. He won in Hawaii last year. He's plus 185 to finish in the top 10. I could have gone in the top 5. Hideki didn't play well last year, but he's a guy that's a workaholic. He's going to continue to work on his game. Hideki Matsuyama plus 185, top 10. I love it. Now let's go to Colin Morikawa. Colin Morikawa is a player who started off the year well last year, had a lot of top 10s, top 20 finishes. He was vying for that. I talked about Russell Henley winning the Arnold Palmer Invitational. If you remember, it was Colin Morikawa who was leading that tournament. And then Russell Henley chips in for eagle down the stretch, and Morikawa is not able to come back from that. And honestly, kind of derailed his whole season. He was never the same after that tournament, but I think Morikawa is going to come back in 2026, and he's out to prove something. He's out to prove that he is one of the top golfers in the game. So I'm going to take Colin Morikawa at plus 200. So for top 10s, Hideki Matsuyama at plus 185, Colin Morikawa at plus 200. Let's go to top 20. I know that I took Corey Connors as a long shot play, and I think that he's going to be playing good golf, but I'm going to go with the top 20 for him. Corey Connors' top 20 is plus 125. He's a guy who's, again, consistent, played well last year. He's capable of going low. That's what you have to do when you play in these Hawaii tournaments. I got Corey Connors at plus 125. Now, the second top 20, and I have a tendency to do this. I have a tendency with the second top 20 pick is I just kind of say, you know what? Who's a guy that I think could maybe surprise some people? Who's a player who I think could maybe turn some heads? And sometimes it is someone like our buddy Alex Smalley, or maybe it's a Max Homa as an example. I'm going to go with a guy who's trying to complete the career Grand Slam this year, and that would be none other than Jordan Spieth. I'm going with Jordan Spieth, top 20, plus 170, and I'll tell you why I took this play. Jordan Spieth last year was still coming off of that wrist surgery in the offseason prior, and he openly talked about how because of the surgery and the rehab, he was never truly able to strengthen the wrist and to be as consistent of a ball striker as he wants to be. Well, he's going to have that time. He had a full offseason without any setbacks with the wrist injury. He seems to be healthy. I just think, I'm not saying that Jordan Spieth is going to win the tournament, but I'm just taking a top 20 flyer on Jordan Spieth at plus 170. I like those odds. So my top 20 plays are Corey Connors at plus 125 and Jordan Spieth at plus 170. Now let's go to some bonus plays. For those that are keeping tabs on the Press Podcast, I only count the outright winners. That's the favorite in the long shot. And then top 5, top 10, and top 20 as it pertains to my overall win-loss total. I don't count the bonus plays. But my bonus plays, I'm still going to do them. I'm going with a triple bet. If Russell Henley, Ben Griffin, or Hideki Matsuyama win the Sony Open, we win. That's plus 400 odds. So again, Russell Henley, Ben Griffin, or Hideki Matsuyama win. That's plus 400. I'm going to go with the winning margin. I'm going to say that the winning margin for this tournament is 2 shots, a 2-shot lead. Doesn't matter who wins. If they win by 2 shots, we win the bet at plus 360. And then last, but certainly not least, I took the group winner. So these will change. By the way, these bonus bets will change every single week. So Group E is Brian Harmon, Denny McCarthy, Kiefer Echevarria. I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name. And Jake Knapp. I'm going to go with Jake Knapp to win Group E, and his odds are plus 360. So we're going to go with the Napster, plus 360 to win Group E. And just so everyone is aware, all of these odds, all of these plays, and all of these odds on these plays, I got from the DraftKings Sportsbook. If you use FanDuel, they typically have similar bets, MGM, etc. But in case you're looking at your sportsbook and saying, I don't see these odds the way that Jeff has them, It might be because we're using a different book. I'm not sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. It's just what I use. It's what I'm comfortable with in terms of finding the odds. So there you have it. My plays for the Sony Open. It is good to be back. The Press Podcast is back. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the future tournaments coming up. We're going to have Brooks Koepka back in the field. That's going to be exciting as well. And if you want to know more about that, go back and listen to yesterday's Fairways and Dreams podcast, where I asked the question and tried to answer it. Is Brooks Koepka leaving Live Golf and returning to the PGA Tour the first domino to fall for Live Golf? If you missed it, go back and check it out. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed this first tournament. I know I will. We'll be touching on how we did in the Sony Open next week. But you know how he finishes up. Be safe, be kind, and God bless. The next time you're out there, hit him straight. See ya.